think our first shipment of books is here today. We're already off to a great start. I want to go down and get them right now, but it's also kind of like prime time for people to be moving around in the building, which means it's gonna take forever for me to get an elevator. I'm gone 10 minutes and you just make yourself right at home. We got a few things to open. I'm mainly just hoping these are in good condition. I ordered these from Ingram Spark instead of Amazon because the book's not live yet, so I can't order author copies from Amazon yet. And I tend to have more luck with Ingram Spark as far as not getting damaged books. So we'll see. These are only one of the covers. I have 2 other orders I'm waiting on, and despite putting them in only like a day or 2 apart, I didn't have the cover file yet. The second one just shipped today, so. And then the other one still hasn't shipped yet. Of course I have like, oh, this is pretty damaged. Both are. Shoot. The spines are like real smashed. What was I saying? Oh, of course I have more of this cover when I need more of the other cover. And I got some tissue paper that like matches color-wise for the signed books and the PR boxes. For the PR boxes, I believe only 5 requested this cover, so we can do 5 of those while we wait for the rest. But I also have a lot of signed orders, and I'm just gonna honestly ship them out along with the PR boxes. So if you pre-order a signed book, you're gonna get the book early. I think that makes it extra exciting, and I do have a lot of signed orders for this cover, so we can fulfill quite a few. Oh, I got more Sharpies for signing, more envelopes that I put like the bookmarks and the stickers and the character art prints and like all of the goodies I put in here so they don't get lost in the box or broken. And then I got these little clear bags to take to the concert. I guess I'm gonna end up having some damaged discount books. I ordered more of these than I need. I put in 2 orders to begin with, 20 of each cover. I didn't know how many I was gonna need, but I felt like that was a good starting point. Quickly ran out of the other cover that I needed, so I made a second order for those. But I still have more of these than I need, so I'm not worried about the damages just yet. We might still have enough to be okay. We might not need to make another order. This is such a different box than like Amazon does. They never send you these like cubes. I was surprised when I saw it. I am kind of nervous though, because this was like really crammed into the locker downstairs. I like could not get it out, so this one already looks pretty beat up. He's damaged. Oh, he's real damaged. This is not a good start. He's crushed. Oh, this is bad. Oh, come on. There have to be some decent condition ones in here, please. If I have to send some slightly damaged ones out in PR boxes, I don't feel as bad about them because they're getting the book for free. But for the signed books, I will not tolerate anything less than perfection. So we have a stack. Also, I ordered these before I caught a typo. So the next round will be without that one typo. So if these ones are damaged, I'm less concerned. Okay, we're gonna go through and see how many of them are usable. This is like not showing up on camera at all, but like look at this poor little corner. Damaged pile. Honestly, it didn't even really occur to me to be worried about them being damaged. I just like, the last several shipments I've got have been good. They've been fine. I wasn't worried about this until now. Usually the ones on like the top and the bottom are the damaged ones, so I'm hoping once I get to the ones that were in the middle, they were a little more cushioned. Damn, like all of these. I'm thinking I'm gonna try out TikTok shop for these. I have done it previously for poetry books. Maybe I'll just throw the damaged copies up over there. I've never had to request like a mass refund from Ingram. They've given me like one at a time. The only time I've ever had to be like all of them was damaged was from Amazon, so I hope Ingram is as good about giving me a refund as Amazon usually is. Although Amazon, I have noticed, I've had to reach out to them for a few things lately, must have changed their ways. It's been harder to get a hold of someone than it was when I was going through that whole damaged debacle. Well, this is sad. Damaged. I don't even want to say perfect, just like good enough. And I need exactly 5 of this cover for the PR boxes. So that doesn't even account for the signed books. We're definitely gonna have to make another order, and that stresses me out time-wise. I was thinking people who got the signed books were gonna get them early, and now they might get them late. Dude. So I guess that's what I'm gonna be doing today, taking pictures and reaching out and trying to get a refund for all of those. Anyway, I was gonna start a vlog because I had a lot to update you on, and I got a notification that those packages were here. So, hi, welcome back to the channel. I didn't really do an intro. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie Wismer. I'm an author. All my stuff is linked down below. That's my 11th book. It's coming out September 25th. Small town romance, brother's best friend trope. You can pre-order it now. God, where to start? Updates. So, arcs of that book go out tomorrow. Ask me how I feel about that. I am unwell. I am nervous. Like it doesn't really feel real, to be honest. It hasn't really sunk in that people are going to be reading the book tomorrow. And then when I do think about that, I feel nauseous. So I have closed the ARC application forms. I have my list completed. I don't know how much I want to get into it. I'll definitely do a wrap-up video after book release talking about how my whole marketing and PR plan went, but those will be going out tomorrow. In the meantime, I think I was telling you in the last vlog, I wanted to read through the rough draft of book 2 from beginning to end and just take notes and get a feel for it. I did that, read the whole thing, ended up adding some more to that as well. I wrote some new chapters, but not a whole ton. That draft is now about 60,000 words, so I think I ended up writing like 5,000 words. It's definitely still missing quite a few scenes, but every time I sat down to write a new scene, even if I had it like fully planned, it felt like I was pulling teeth. Like I just felt so burnt out on it, and I decided I need a break before I dive in and start working on this again. But I was in the mood to write, but I was like, this book, I just don't want to work on this right now. So I jumped over and started writing the rough draft for Cam's book. Wrote about 2,000 words for that yesterday, wrote chapter 1, and mostly just ended up doing a ton of research for that book. I don't know if this is like spoilers for the Marionette series, minor spoilers, I don't know. The setting of this book is going to be very different than the setting of the previous books. We're going to be in Anya's territory. I guess if you've read the books, you know what that means. So me doing research has mainly just been about like location wise and like the geography there and the climate there, and I've also been doing some fun research into like myths and legends and things like that from that area. So yeah, more than anything, yesterday was like full of research for that, but we did manage to write the first chapter, which has me very excited. Yeah, the first chapter took a turn that I wasn't expecting, but it also made me pause and realize I've already done a ton of brainstorming and outlining and stuff for this book, but I do feel like I need to sit down and just kind of spend more time with Anya's character in general, because coming out of writing 4 books from Valerie's point of view and then jumping to another book in this world but not from Valerie's point of view, I'm realizing is hard for me. Like I'm kind of just like automatically going back into Valerie's voice, and I have to keep reminding myself like I'm writing from a different character's point of view now. So I feel like I need to get to know Anya better in the terms of like her voice and like get more used to writing from her point of view. It's gonna be it feels weird just not writing in Valerie's point of view but still being in this world. It feels weirder than I expected, so we need to work on that before I really feel comfortable to sit down and like write more. I feel like I need to do just more like outside prep work and like brainstorm and just get to know Anya a little bit better. Are those my main updates? I believe that's all I can think of at the top of my head. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and request refunds, put in a new order for these books. Okay, so I need like 13 good copies of those right now, and I only have 5. So we definitely need to put in a new order ASAP. Okay, so leave me questions on the previous vlog. I will answer those later. I'm gonna take care of this right now because I'm bothered by it. If you want to see what's in my PR boxes, I'm just using leftover boxes from my Kickstarter. So we've got the book in this tissue paper because it matches the cover, and I put some bubble wrap around it to try to protect it some more. Got this and some little tabs, a couple of things for tea, and then this thing has 3 bookmarks, character art print, stickers, stuff like that. And that's the box. So that's much later. You can see we've packed up 5 PR boxes and 3 signed book orders, and I was thinking I was just gonna ship them out today, and then I realized I can't because, so for the return address for everything that I ship, I use a like digital mailbox instead of my address, and I've had the same one for a while, and it got closed because that like location closed, and then I just never went through the process of resetting up a new one because I had to upload my driver's license and proof of my address, and you have to do like an online like Zoom notary to like sign the documents, and you have to pay for the notary again. And so I just like never did it again because I wasn't shipping stuff out regularly anyway. So today I finally sat down and like redid it, just got off the notary call, and now we just have to wait for that to like process to give me a new address. So once I have the new digital address that I can put in, then I can ship these things out. So hopefully it'll process it within like a day or 2, but that is something I've been putting off doing for a really long time. So I'm annoyed that like they closed the location. It was through no fault of my own, and I had to pay for the notary twice now within 1 year. but whatever, it's only $25. Anyway, yeah, so we had 5 that were like pretty perfect condition books, and then there were some that it was just like the bottom corner were a little bit dented, so I felt okay shipping those off for the PR books. These ones over here have like much more noticeable issues on the spine. It's hard to see because they're white books, but can you see like how they're really smashed up? So I did take pictures and send all of that in to Ingram Spark, so we'll wait to hear back from them to see if they're gonna refund me for these books. Yeah, so these will just have to be sold as damaged ones because I don't feel good sending these ones out. And I double checked. I'm annoyed that the second shipment didn't ship until today because I put that order in like I'm guessing because of the holiday, so I'm guessing I'm not going to get those for like another week, let alone the replacement ones that I just ordered, but doing the best we can. It'll be fine. Should we answer some questions? How long did it take you to write the first draft of book 2 in the Sweetspire series? So book 2 that I now have the rough draft for, I had to look back actually because I couldn't even remember when I started it. It was in the vlogs. So I actually technically started it back in February. And the thing is, I feel like rough drafts for the most part actually always take me the same amount of time. It's just rarely like continuous. So from February until now is technically what, like end of February, so like 6 months. But realistically, the number of days that I wrote for that draft in 6 months was like 30 days, maybe 60 days. So for the most part, rough drafts take me like a month or 2, and sometimes I do that all in one go. Like the Marionettes I did all in one go, book 1 for the rough draft. Broken Perfect Lies, the rough draft was all in one go. The Anti-Relationship Year was all in one go. And then some books, that draft stretched on like for 6 months or so, like Bloodless Ties, Ruthless Ends. This one, it didn't take me 6 months to write it. It's just like it was a month or 2 worth of writing days stretched out for that period of time, if that makes sense. So depending on how long the rough draft ends up being, I would say on average, on a day that I'm writing, I'll write anywhere from like, on a low day, if I'm really not doing too well and I just like tap out and decide that day is not going to work, it's like 500 words. On a good day, maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 words. I can do 5,000 in a day pretty often, and then some days I'll push myself to like 10,000 words. So let's say like on average, an average writing day, I write like 2,000 words. So if it's a 50,000 word rough draft, 25 days. If it's a 100,000 word rough draft, 50 days. And depending on how many other books I'm working on and where I'm at in the process of those determines if this is going to be an all-in-one go rough draft, or if it's when I need a break from priority number 1 book, I'll go and I'll write every day for a week and then I won't touch it for a month. And then when I have time again, I'll write every day for a week and then I won't touch it for a month. When I'm taking a break from this book, I will jump to this book. So that's kind of what I do, if that makes sense. Book 2 has been the rough draft that I jump to whenever I have a little extra time, I'm waiting on something, or I needed a break from Gracie's book. The other question made me laugh. What is your new book about? And I realized like I didn't even tell you in the video. I don't know, I just like assumed you all knew. If you follow me elsewhere on social media, you've seen it. I have links down below too if you want to go like read the description on Goodreads. But in case you have it, and in case you don't want to go elsewhere, I will read it to you right now. So, I always feel so awkward reading these. Moving into my brother's basement after graduating college is the end of the world, but getting stuck working for his best friend just might be. Aside from professionally getting under my skin, Liam Brooks owns the only tattoo studio in our perfect coastal town. He also happens to be the only person within a 100-mile radius willing to employ me despite my shining resume. The truth is, he needs me too. So we make a truce for the summer. I save his shop from financial ruin, and he does everything I say so I can use his business as a case study to land my dream job. That I'm getting out of this town and never looking back. ... Unless I find a reason to stay. So that is what Tell Me It's Right is about. Beyond that, beyond the just like general blurb, I feel like I've talked about it a lot during the process of this. It is a small town romance. I feel like if you've read my Pact books, you probably have a pretty good idea of what to expect from contemporary for me. Specifically, if you liked the Anti-Relationship Year, I think you'll like this one, both because Gracie is a character from the Anti-Relationship Year. So if you didn't know, Gracie appears in this book as a side character. If you want to get a taste of her, if you want to meet her before reading this book, I would recommend reading this one first. You don't have to. You could easily just jump straight into this one, but that'll give you a look of what she was like as a freshman in college, and then this book is following her after she's graduated. So yeah, I do think it's kind of that like lighthearted, fun, funny, small town vibes, but I'm also like incapable of writing light and fluffy books. I think we've all realized this. My books tend to be a little bit heavier, a little more emotional, have darker themes, so those are all definitely in here. Very focused on the character's journey, personal growth. This book surprised me with how much I ended up relating to it and how much I ended up relating to Gracie, because Gracie and I, like, on the surface it would appear we're very, very different people, and then the further I got into her story I realized like how much of myself I put into her, and that was an interesting experience because coming into book number 11, I feel like I've kind of gone in waves with how personal I've allowed my books to be. I think the first novel I ever published was super personal, and then once I got a taste of publishing and how brutal it can be and how tough that is if you make your books really personal, and that's like a really vulnerable thing, and then when people like absolutely eviscerate your books, it feels more personal if the book was more personal. So then the books in the middle of my career, I like tried to make the least personal as possible, put the least amount of myself into them as possible to make it less painful. And so now coming back to book 11, it's like I finally like allowed myself to put more of myself in the book again. So yeah, that adds an interesting edge to this book for sure. For me, I mean, it's definitely a slower paced, character driven kind of book. So if you're coming out of my Marionettes series and you're expecting something that's just gonna like hit the ground running, I hope this doesn't disappoint you, but this is definitely a little bit slower on purpose. Gracie has been my favorite character's point of view to write from in terms of like her sense of humor. I found her incredibly entertaining to write in her voice, and I think this book is very funny because of her. I also quite like Liam, her love interest's sense of humor and the banter that they have. I think this is probably my funniest book, just like in terms of the characters being funny. There's a couple little fun facts about the book, I guess. I think those were all the questions. If you have any more for the next video, feel free to let me know. It's almost 3 p.m. I don't know where the day went. Oh my god. I haven't done any writing today. I've been dealing with so many other things. So that's what I would like to do for the rest of the day. Pick up probably Cam's book. I really just feel like I need some space from book 2, which is tough because I would like ideally like to get further into it before Tell Me It's Right comes out, but I also don't like want to force it, and I'm just like really feeling like I need a break from those books. So we'll see. I'm also just like feeling like I need a second opinion. I feel like I might bring beta readers in pretty early with this book. I don't know. For now, we're just gonna like set it aside and we're just gonna take a break from it. But like I was saying, I don't feel like comfortable jumping straight back into Cam's book and writing. So maybe today will be an afternoon of like, I'm gonna pull up an actual physical notebook and just like brainstorm and spend some time getting to know Anya's voice a little bit better. That's the plan. I've been talking a lot. This video's probably already pretty long, so maybe we'll end it here. If you have any questions for the next one, feel free to let me know. If you want to pre-order Tell Me It's Right, all the links are down below in the description, or you can add it to your to-read shelves on Goodreads. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I will just see you in the next one very, very soon. Bye. No. Slippery slope, it's not enough to please you.